What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for the day. Yesterday, unfortunately, did mark the end of our 3-day win streak right here on this YouTube channel. So if you guys do not know, on Monday, we cashed the entry. On Tuesday, we cashed the entry. And on Wednesday, we cashed the entry. Yesterday, we took Caitlin Clark under 5.5 rebounds. She unfortunately does go over at 7. Don't hate the call whatsoever. She had actually a really poor game. She only had like 11 points in this game, but she obviously made up for it in other aspects of her game and stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, it kind of is what it is, right? We just went on a 3-day win streak here, so let's try to get it back. I actually really like today's entry, so hopefully it lasts and hopefully it does not bump or anything crazy like that. So at the end of the day, we did cash this. We cashed some nice 2-mans, which is good to see. So like over here on Counter-Strike, by the way, this game went into actually quadruple overtime. Torji right here got 30 kills in one map. In that game that went into overtime, he got 30 kills. So in just one map alone, he actually goes over his line. And so this was a very, very long game, and that is how Counter-Strike works. If it's a longer game, more kills are going to happen. If it's a shorter game, less kills are going to happen. So this was actually the second game of the day. If you don't know, there's a big Counter-Strike major going on, pretty much a big tournament. This was the second game of the day. It was a much shorter game, so these guys actually go under their kill projections because it was a short game. So a shorter game means less kills, and these guys are obviously both going to be in the shorter game because they're playing each other. Longer game is going to mean more kills. Overtime is going to mean more kills, okay? So shorter game. Also, this was Fury and Pain, so this was the shorter game. These guys go under. You guys can see how correlated they are together, right? Which is the main point of this. You see this 4 out of 4, which is pretty much just the opposite of 0 out of 4, which is the opposite of a 4 out of 4. I know it's scary when you see all the red and you're like, oh, what's happening? All this red. But this is opposite correlation pretty much. I'm taking the overs. Sometimes the unders are going to hit, right? I take the overs here. Sometimes the unders are going to hit. These guys right here, if they had a game where they had to pass a lot, they would have went over together because of the quarterback and receiver together. What happened in this Montreal-Edmonton game is Montreal actually gets up by like 30 points by halftime. And 30 points by halftime, so they pretty much just stop passing the ball. They don't have to pass the ball at all to win this game. Trey Ford is on Edmonton, and this is actually 3 days in a row now where we've missed by one guy pretty much not cashing us out for a more than a 2-man, right? If you guys saw yesterday's video, Smash goes over by just one headshot, guys. If he got 15, we would have cashed 3 out of 3. If he got 14, then we would have cashed for, I think it was like an 8.5x or something like that. And the day before that, there's also a Valorant play that barely missed for a 3 out of 4. Here's another one that we could have got 3 out of 3 on. So 3 days in a row of just barely missing like a big hit, right? But Trey Ford, he actually had like 60 passing yards by halftime. And it was, again, just one of those games where they were down by like 30. So they just kept passing the ball to try to get in this game. They kind of came back a little bit. They ended up like losing by like 15 points anyway, but they just passed the ball like crazy because they were losing so much. So, Trey Ford does just barely go, I guess he kind of goes way over, but, it's just because they were that game state of that game, right? And that does happen sometimes. But overall, guys, we do go down about like 1.5 units, which is not a big deal at all, especially because yesterday we did cash some of these here, and this is pretty much the performance over the past, maybe 50 days. So since May 1st, we're up 51 to 52 units since May 1st. I did, by the way, just update this graph like 3 or 4 minutes ago, right before I pressed the record button. And by the way, I just want to show you guys, this was yesterday's graph, right? So every single day I try to update this graph as much as possible. If I don't do it every day, I try to do it every other day. So, I'd see some people that are like, oh, like he doesn't update the graph when he loses. And it's like, I do, right? That's why there's ups and downs in this graph, right? I try to be as transparent as possible. And all I can do is pretty much present you guys with what we've done, the data we've done. You guys can see this is like 400 bets we've taken in that 50-day span, which kind of checks out because I send out probably like 8 or 9 bets a day. And yeah, we're up more than a unit every single day of profit on average if you take the span of all these bets together. So yeah, you guys doing really well. We have a lot of Canadian football today, which is exciting, and we will get into the play of the day here in a second. So let's go ahead and actually just jump into that play of the day. I actually really like today's play. We have Dejona Carrington to go over 11.5 points, and then we have another League of Legends play, which there's actually one game of League of Legends, I believe, going on this weekend. If you don't know, League of Legends, it's going to actually be a pretty slow weekend for us in League of Legends, especially. Next weekend's going to be huge because there's a big tournament going on in League of Legends. So there's probably going to be like 30 games or something crazy going on. So really excited about that. But we do have one League of Legends game to bet on today, which is exciting because League of Legends is a great sport for us. We do have Baus, we have Velia, and we do have Nemesis. Okay, if you guys do not know, I feel like I always bet on Nemesis under or have him under in some way, shape, or form. But I really like this entry. Okay, so I have Baus, Velia, and Nemesis. I actually all like their individual lines. So I think Baus is at like maybe like 9. Velia is at 13, which is way too high. So if you want another play, Velia at under 13 is really good. Nemesis is at 12.5, which is also a little bit too high. So I'm going to, I actually like all of these guys individually to go under, okay? But that's why I'm taking them all together, right? So I can get exposure to all three of these guys together. They actually just got 2-0'd by Barcelona Esports, okay? So they're facing Barcelona Esports. They got 2-0'd by them, so they did not take one game away from them. Now, they're probably going to perform a little bit better than that tomorrow morning, but this is a tough team that they're facing, okay? And if you don't know how League of Legends works, the losing team's going to get a lot less kills. The winning team's going to get a lot more kills. I think even if Rat right here, even if Rat wins 2 out of the 3 games, I still think it's going to be hard for them to get 35 kills combined, okay? I still think that's going to be a hard game. If you actually look at the games that they played where they got 2-0'd, it was kind of a low-scoring game where not that much happened. These are two like pretty passive teams in a way. They more focus on the macro perspective of the game, if that kind of makes sense. And I personally think this combo should be like 31 or something like that, okay? So this is going to be the first play of the day. If you don't know, League of Legends, we just absolutely dominate on. This was actually last Saturday, guys. There's a lot of League of Legends in these slips. We cashed 3 of these in a row, and then this was 2 Saturdays ago, around kind of like early, I guess like earlier this month. And we actually have one of our biggest days ever, going up 40 units in one day a couple of Saturdays ago with Canadian football and with League of Legends, Valorant, Counter-Strike, everything I pretty much talked about in today's video. So if you are interested in that, all you have to do is actually the Better code is working now again, so you guys can sign up for Better. All you have to do is text me the word Better to my number on the screen. They will actually give you a free $10, okay? So that is huge, a free $10, and it's just for signing up for Better. So it's a big promo they're running. I think they're only doing that in June. So if you don't have Better, I really recommend getting Better because this is the best promo that I've seen. It's literally a free $10 bill that they're handing you, and you only have a couple more days to do so because June is going to come up quick and end quick. You can also sign up for Bovada as long as your state is in the blue here. Those are all the legal states for Bovada, and you guys can text me the word Bovada to my number on the screen if you guys do want to sign up for that. Both of these can give you 2 months free of the VIP. If you wanted to do Better and Bovada, you can also do that, guys. So really easy to do so and get my VIP for a couple months free. All right, let's get into Carrington and why I like her line. So for Carrington here, you guys, I'm taking her over 11.5 points. And the reason why I like her at over 11.5 points is, first of all, guys, she is averaging 13 points. All right, so you always want to look at the averages. Over the last 10 games, she's averaging 13 points. If you guys do not know about the WNBA, there is 13 teams in the WNBA, okay? And they are facing the Connecticut Sun, which are the worst team in the WNBA against points, okay? You guys can see over here, Connecticut Sun, they are ranked 13 out of 13 teams in points allowed. If you look at guards and forwards, you guys can see she's a guard slash forward, so she's kind of like a shooting guard slash small forward. They are 11th against guards and they are 10th against forwards, and they're actually slightly better against centers. Still not very good, but slightly better against centers. So they are the weakest against guards and forwards, and they're the weakest defense in the league, okay? The head-to-head matchup they just had, not just had, but it was the end of May, she gets 16 points in this game, okay? And they put up 109 points. Dallas put up 109 points against them. That is almost unheard of in the WNBA to put up more than 100 points against a team, okay? So also, if you look in the past 10 games, you guys can see that the times that she's going under are against much better defenses, okay? And the times she's going over are against these poor defenses. So you guys can see if you look at this opponent rank right here. She played Atlanta. They're actually number 3 defense. She only gets 5 points, all right? So the number 3 defense in the league, top 3 defense in the league, she does not do very well because they're a good defense, okay? This is the Connecticut Sun game. She gets 16 points that when she played them last. And then she plays Chicago Sky. They're the 10th so the bottom 3 defense, she gets 15. Then she plays Chicago Sky again. They're the 10th defense. She gets 16 points. Seattle, she plays, they're actually number 6. She gets 22. And then she plays the Sparks. They're the 11th out of 13th defense. She gets 16. So hopefully you guys are seeing the trend. She plays the Minnesota Lynx, the number 1 defense in the league. She only gets 6. Okay, and then she plays Phoenix. She gets the top 5 defense, so number 5 defense. She gets 11, right? So again, she plays a middle of the line defense, and she almost hits this line by 0.5. And then right here, she plays the Aces. They're actually ranked 9 out of 13, so a bottom 4 defense. She gets 15. And then right here against Golden State, they're actually ranked 8, and she gets 8. So really, the only thing that falls out of line here is maybe this Golden State game, this Golden State Valkyrie game, because they're kind of a middle of the road defense, and she only gets 8 points. Maybe we can look into it. Yeah, it looks like she only played like 21 minutes, and she went 1 for 9. So that's why, right? If she doesn't go 1 for 9 tonight, and she's playing the worst defense in the league, again, all the times that she's played a bottom 3 defense, she's gotten 16, 15, 16 points against these. And then every time she plays a really, really good defense, like the Lynx, she only gets like 6 points or something like that. So she's really dependent on these defenses, and she's playing the worst defense in the league, guys. So I feel like this is a really easy line. It's a really easy call to take, and we're going to take her over 11.5 points tonight, okay? I actually like her all the way up to 12, okay? So if it bumps to 12, I would still take it over. So really strong line here. Again, you guys, I feel like we've been reading the WNBA, and I feel like the WNBA has a lot of soft lines, so I feel like it's really easy to bet on the WNBA, guys. So if you want more WNBA picks, League of Legends picks, correlated picks, football picks, whatever it is, follow this channel and turn on post notifications to get here as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you want my VIP, there's a couple of ways to do so. That'll be in the description and in the pinned comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's have a great weekend, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.